All right, so this story we're going to dive into, it's wild, like something right out of Hollywood.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We're heading over to Equatorial Guinea.
Okay.
Might be a country some folks aren't too familiar with, but basically, a leaked sex tape is causing a total political meltdown there.
A sex scandal. Sounds juicy.
Well, it is, kinda. But looking at the stuff you sent over, it's way more than that. It's like a peek behind the curtain of this super secretive and authoritarian country, all the power plays and political maneuvering and all that.
Right, I can see that. How a scandal, something that seems so surface level, can actually expose, like, all these deeper layers of power dynamics, ambition, desperation, even.
Yeah, for sure. We're talking hundreds of videos just floating around online.
Wow.
They show this high-ranking government official, they call him Bello, doing, well, things he probably shouldn't be doing with a bunch of different women.
I see. So who is this Bello guy?
Yeah, so the real kicker is that a lot of these women are connected to some pretty powerful people. We're talking President Obiang's inner circle, even.
Whoa. Okay, now this is getting interesting.
Right. And here's where understanding Equatorial Guinea is super important. You've done a lot of research on this, so you know that President Obiang has been in power for, like, forever.
45 years, yeah.
Yeah, 35 years. And there's zero free press. Information is completely locked down. So the big question is, who leaked these videos and why?
Right. It can't just be a coincidence. It feels almost, I don't know, calculated, like a strategic move in a political game or something.
Exactly. So let's meet our players in this whole drama, right? First up, we got Bello. Real name is Balthazar Nganga. He's actually President Obiang's nephew. And some say he's got his sights set on becoming president himself.
Ah, I see. So this scandal could really mess with his ambition.
You bet. Now, on the other side of the board, you have President Obiang himself, 82 years old, and like we said, he's been calling the shots since 79. He was at the helm during this massive oil boom, but now the country's economy is going downhill fast.
So there's already some tension, instability even.
Oh, yeah. And we can't forget about the president's son, the vice president. Now, stories about this guy's lavish lifestyle, they're basically legendary. Did you hear the one about how he bought Michael Jackson's glove?
No way. Which one?
The crystal-covered one.
Oh, wow. That's something.
Yeah. It just shows how insanely wealthy the ruling elite are compared to the rest of the population.
Right. There's this huge gap between the haves and the have-nots, and that difference, that contrast, it's like essential to understanding what's really going on in Equatorial Guinea. I mean, think about it. They've got all this oil money, right? But there's still widespread poverty, and the human rights situation atrocious. All the reports you sent from the U.S. government and all, they paint a really grim picture. Killings, torture, absolutely no political freedom. And then this sex tape scandal explodes. Suddenly, it's not just some gossipy thing anymore. It makes you think, is this a sign of something darker, something more sinister? Could this be about power struggles or maybe silencing people who are speaking out against the government?
Yeah. And some experts are even saying that this whole leak is a direct attack on Nganga, Bello.
Yeah.
Like someone's trying to make him look bad, take him out of the running for president.
Makes sense. It's like a real-life House of Cards.
Totally.
With incredibly high stakes.
Yeah, for sure.
Obiang's getting up there in age, and there's no obvious heir apparent. So you can imagine, the pressure's on. Anyone who seems like a threat, anyone who might disrupt the status quo, they become a target.
It's kind of scary to think about the lengths people will go to hold on to power or to grab it.
Yeah, it is. And the worst part is, we might never know the full truth. I mean, getting reliable information out of Equatorial Guinea is, well, it's next to impossible.
Right.
So we got to be really careful with what we do know, think critically, question everyone's motives, consider all the different angles.
So for someone trying to understand this whole mess, what's the takeaway? I think it shows how a sex scandal, something that seems so simple, can actually open up this whole can of worms. It gives you a glimpse into all this political maneuvering, power grabs, and potential human rights abuses. Like, things aren't always what they seem, right?
Exactly. And it makes you think, really think about power. What people will do to get it, to keep it. Not just the money, but how far they'll go to trample on other people's rights, their freedom. It's pretty sobering.
Absolutely. And for anyone listening who wants to know more about this story, keep asking those questions. Don't just accept things at face value. Who benefits most from Nganga getting knocked down? What's next for Equatorial Guinea and its people as this power struggle plays out? I think those are the questions worth pondering.
I agree.
It's a story that'll keep unfolding, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
I'll have to keep an eye on it
For sure.
and keep our listeners updated.
Definitely.